Hi, this is Brandon from Watches on You. Today we're taking a look at the Oris Divers 65 Chronograph. Now, first I'd like to remind you that we're here at JB Hudson Jewelers in Minneapolis, Minnesota, taking a look at this watch. They're an official retailer of Oris watches and many other premium luxury watch brands. And this watch is available on sale brand new for a price, and I want to get this right, of $4,250. So now let's jump into the various case details of this piece. But before I do that, I want to remind you that we'll be leaving a link to our to JB Hudson's website as well as to our channel store where we've listed our favorite watches and watch accessories for sale. So now let's move on to the individual details of this watch. So as I said, this is the Oris Divers 65 Chronograph. Now, the overall case aesthetic is very similar to that of the Oris Divers 65, but it has a slightly larger case at 43 millimeters, which is actually quite appropriate for a chronograph of this style. I really love the style of this watch. It's just vintage, it looks absolutely fantastic, and I love the two-tone element with the bronze there. I think Oris's quality has gone, dramatically up in recent years, and I love their new riveted bracelets. They do not feel like riveted bracelets of old from the likes of Rolex and things like that. They feel much higher quality than even that. And again, everything is just done pretty much perfectly on this. Although the clasp appears to be of the pressed metal variety, it has these nice buttons, so it does function just like an Omega clasp. It feels very similar in overall finishing to that, to the Omega Seamaster 300 diver, if you're familiar with that. It's very similar to that, which is one of the best clasps in the business. So that's something to take into consideration. I really love, again, the overall case design of this piece. It has both brushed and polished surfaces, but the majority of it is brushed. And just another case detail, this watch is water resistant to 100 meters, which is slightly lower than a typical dive watch, which would kind of start at 200 meters. But again, for swimming, you will be totally fine with this watch. Just remember not to use the chronograph pushers in the water, because these are not they're not meant to be used underwater, at least this functional form. And getting into the bezel, it has a nice 120 click bezel. There's absolutely, there's a very slight bit of shakiness to it, but it's totally fine within this price point. It feels and looks absolutely fantastic. It has a nice satisfying click. It's quite different than a Rolex click, but it definitely feels quite high end. It's not like many cheap watches that tend to have kind of very shaky clicks and they're not very loud. This is a very loud, defined, nice click. And it is unidirectional as well. So getting into the functionality, as I said, this is the chronograph. It's got a Sellita-based chronograph movement with 42 hours. I believe it's the Sellita 510 movement. Actually, sorry, it has a 48-hour power reserve, not 42, which is, again, that's my kind of minimum bound for power reserves. I tend to like to see watches that have 48 hours or above, and this fits the bill for that. So as you saw, I started the chronograph by pushing the top pusher. I can stop it by pushing the top pusher and reset using the bottom pusher. It gives a nice little wiggle on its resetting motion. And again, the clicks are quite satisfying. It's not quite as hard to push as the ETA 7750, so that's something to consider. And I really like, again, how it feels. So now I'll try this watch on for a wrist shot. And the 43 millimeter case size looks, I would say, slightly large on my wrist, which is about 6.5 inches in circumference. But again, it's a chronograph, it's a diver, it's tough. I really like how it looks, and I love the gold accents on the dial, as well as, again, the two-tone element on the side of the bezel. So if you like this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and remember to check out JB Hudson's website as well as our channel store. Thank you.